everybody, can you give Mrs Cloke a wave? Can you see me? Hi Lily. Give Mrs Cloke a wave, Lily. Hi Hannah. Hi Jude. Oh, it's so good to see some familiar faces. Hello Hannah's mummy. Hi. Oh, it's so good to see you. School's very different at the moment, but we can't wait to have you all back. So I'm really pleased to be able to read you a story this morning, but I want to tell you what we've been doing in my bubble. So in my bubble at the moment, I have Miss Burton and Miss Bourne and Mrs Cloke, and we have some key worker children. So I have some nursery children and I have some year 2 children, and we're called the Aero Bubbles. And we've been doing lots and lots of fairy tales and lots of different stories, lots of science things we've been doing. And we've been growing beans last week. They didn't take very long to grow, and we grew them in, can you see this? Give me a thumbs up if you can see that. Can you see my bag? Yeah. And all I put in was a piece of kitchen roll and my bean. It's a runner bean, and we kept it a little bit wet, and in just a few days it broke out of its little shell and it grew. Can you see my bean? Can you see that? And already they're about this tall already now. They are going to be our runner beans, and we're going to plant them now in our big containers in our little bubble garden. And I wonder if they'll grow into a beanstalk, and will we be able to climb that? Who knows? Now, you all know the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, don't you? Can you give me a thumbs up if you know the story of Jack and the Beanstalk? Right, well this is a slightly different story, so I want to show it to you. It is called Jack and the Jelly Beanstalk. Now, next week we're going to try and open up the chat so you can ask me some questions and I can ask you some questions. But today, can you just tell somebody that you're with, what do you think this story is going to be about? Jack and the Jelly Bean Stalk. Lily, tell Nanny what you think it's going to be about, Lily. Oh, wow, I can see you've grown something. Oh, I can see you talking. Well done. Hi. So, let's have a look. On the front, I've got an awful lot of sweets on the front of my story. And on the back of the book, there's a little bit that's called the blurb, isn't it? And it says, when Jack sells his cow for jelly beans, his mum is furious. But these are magic beans, and soon Jack is on a big adventure. Now, I think it might be slightly different, do you think? Let's have a look. Jack's mum shook the biscuit tin and peered inside. She looked in dismay at the last few crumbs. Oh, I'm sorry, Jack, she sighed, but the cupboards are bare and my purse is empty. We'll have to sell Daisy. Now, is that the same as what happened in the original story? Give me a thumbs up if you think that's the same. Yeah, I think Mum said, didn't she? We've got nothing to eat. Jack, you've got to go and sell our cow. Don't worry, Mum, said Jack. I'll get a good price for her. So Mummy wants some money, doesn't she? Because they've got no food left. Daisy was the cutest cow you ever did see. So it wasn't surprising that even before they got to town, a farmer had offered Jack 20 gold coins for her. 20 gold coins? Cried Jack. His mum would be so pleased. Oh, Jack was on his way home when all of a sudden he spotted a wonderful sweet shop. Oh, what do you think Jack's going to do? Tell who you're with or have a think in your head. What do you think Jack's going to do? He's got 20 gold coins and now he sees a sweet shop. What's he going to do? Should we have a look? I think I'd like to find a sweet shop like that. I think I'd buy a candy cane. Inside there were juicy jellies, fizzy whizzers, gooey gums, heaps of lollipops, chunky chocolate raisins, I think they'd be my favourite, yummy pineapple chunks, rainbow sherbets and strawberry straws. But Jack could not take his eyes off an enormous bag of glittering jelly beans. Jelly beans. And it says, amazing jelly beans. Warning, may contain smelly sock beans. Do you think Jack's going to swap and buy those jelly beans and not take the money home to Mummy? What do you think? Give me a nod if you think he's going to buy them. I reckon so. Every flavour he could wish for. Jack couldn't help himself. He handed over the money. Uh-oh. Hi, Tom. Hello, Tom. Jack walked home in a dream, but when he arrived home... Can you still hear me? Yeah. When he arrived home without Daisy and without any money, his mum was furious. What does furious mean? Tell your mummy or nanny, what does furious mean? Tom, what does furious mean? Yeah, really angry, isn't it? Really angry. You silly boy. What use are jelly beans? And she threw the bag outside and sent Jack straight to bed without any supper. That's what happened in the original story, isn't it? Mum threw the beans out the window. But is this different? In the middle of the night, Jack woke to a delicious smell of blueberries, chocolate, strawberries, ice cream and caramel wafting in through the window. Oh, that would be quite good, wouldn't it? A giant jelly bean stalk was growing in his garden. It was a beautiful sight, shining in the moonlight, covered in brightly coloured beans in all the yummy flavours Jack had ever dreamed of. There's Jack in his little house. And there's the beanstalk with all these jelly beans. Jack opened his window and began to climb, cramming jelly beans into his mouth as he went. Orange, pear, mint, sherbet, choc chip, apple pie, candy floss, popcorn. Oh, what flavoured jelly bean would you like to find on a beanstalk? I think I would like maybe candy floss. What would you like? Have a think. Lily, tell Nanny. Tom, what do you think? Hannah, Jude, tell Mummy, what flavour jelly bean would you like? Could be anything. Hi, boys. Oh, higher and higher he climbed until, feeling rather full up of all those jelly beans, he came to a huge golden gate and a large sign. And it says, angry giant, beware. Oh, that's in very big writing, isn't it? That means that I have to say it quite loudly, doesn't it? Angry giant, beware. Oh, honk, honk, sobbed a little white goose. The giant is so angry. I've tried my best to lay more golden eggs, but it's just no good. The pantry is empty and there's nothing to eat in the castle except me and that stringy old harp. Was there a harp in the ordinary Jack and the Beanstalk story? There was, wasn't there? I can see some mice. Oh, big jars of jam. Spider. Oh, look, those mice there are trying to... I've got a huge spoon and they are scooping the jam out of the jam jar. Suddenly the ground shook. Now we all know what the giant said, don't we? Fee, fi, fo, foy, I smell a juicy boy. Goose is good, but boy is so tasty, served with chips and wrapped in pastry. Oh, the giant didn't say that in the original story, did he? So that's a little bit different. Look at the size of his feet. And look at Jack. Looks a little bit scared, doesn't he? He's thinking, oh, what have I done? Oh, the giant doesn't look too happy either. Stop, stuttered Jack as the giant scooped him up in his hand. I'm very bony and I haven't washed for weeks. Give me 10 minutes and I'll bring you a banquet, a feast for a king. What's a banquet? I know, you know what a banquet is, don't you? It means lots and lots of food. Like a big party would have a banquet, all the table filled with food. Thought the giant, putting Jack back down again. My clock is ticking. Tick, tick, tick. Bring my feast and make it quick. Jack had never worked so fast. In 10 minutes, he had picked hundreds and hundreds of jelly beans. The giant had melon beans for his starter and fish and chip beans for his main course. It was all washed down with a fruity bean smoothie. The goose watched hungrily. Oh, there he is, look. The giant was just about to tuck into his pudding beans when, what do you think is going to happen? Oh, can you have a talk to your, or even have a think in your head? What do you think is going to happen? I don't know. Guess what? The goose swallowed them down whole. Honk! The giant was furious. He grabbed the goose and shook her. Honk, honk, honk. But the beans would not come out. He threw her down to grab his carving knife. Jack grabbed the goose and raced for the jelly bean stalk. Stop! Yelled the giant, thundering after them. He grabbed the stalk and tried to climb down, but he was far too heavy. The jelly bean stalk began to sway. Can you all do me a sway? So I know you can hear me. You do sway. Yay! Jack jumped off just in time. It wibbled and it wobbled. Then came crashing to the ground, far away from Jack. Jack looked around and grinned. Their garden was covered in jelly beans. The goose never laid another golden egg, but she did lay delicious speckled ones, tutti frutti ones, and tingy tangy ones. Jack and his mum had enough jelly beans to feed them for years, although every so often they would find one that tasted like smelly old socks. Yuck. That's quite a funny story, wasn't it? It was a little bit different and a little bit, some things were the same. What would you like to find at the top of your beanstalk? So if you had some beans and you threw them out the window, let me know next week. If you tune in next week for another story, we may be able to have a chat at the beginning. Tell me what you would like to find at the top of your beanstalk. I think I'd like to find maybe an adventure park or a cafe maybe to have afternoon tea. Maybe a princess castle. What do you reckon? So next week story is going to be by somebody that we have had lots and lots of stories about, Julia Donaldson, and this story is called The Troll. So don't forget to tune in next week. Don't forget to check the timetable for the live TV shows. I think there was one yesterday, wasn't there? Miss Riley did dancing yesterday. Coming up after this, Mr. Spence is going to come and have a chat with you. And then Miss Bourne is going to be doing some science, I think about 11 o'clock. She's going to go on a bug hunt, I think. So stay safe, everybody. And I miss you all, and I will see you next week. Don't forget to tune in. Bye.